Guys, welcome back to the channel. Another beautiful day here in sunny Florida. Today's video, I'm going to show you how I make some pretty simple and super strong shelves for a closet. This particular closet, I am using birch, 3/4 inch birch ply because it's nice and sanded and smooth and I like the smell of it. And with a light sanding on it, clothes like to slide in and off of it nicely, and you don't really need to stain it, although that's preference. I just like kind of the rough, look, but you can finish this the way you want. But the point is to show you how you can do 4 nice shelves, 7 foot long, with only 2 sheets of plywood and some screws. So basically what you're doing is you're making your shelf panels like these. I got 4 of them here that I've cut off my cut list, 83.5 inches. And then the shelves themselves, I'll show you the closet here in a second. The shelves themselves are 7 feet. Your closet's going to be different. But using that math, that's a standard closet size. I cut 4 inches off of these 2-foot rips. So 1 full sheet of plywood for every 2 shelves gives me this 4-inch piece, which I then cut down to 82 inches. And then I have my side supports here, which are the main cutoffs off the main 8-foot piece that turned into 7-foot. So I can get all these shelves installed in this closet using only 2 pieces of plywood and not buying any of those cheesy metal brackets that always get in the way. So let me show you the closet I'm working on. Right, Jax? And also, Tacoma for the goes without saying, into doing a backyard build here, goes without saying you're gonna need a circular saw, your choice. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, just enough to rip 3/4 inch plywood. This happens to be a 7.5 inch circular saw. No, it's my 6-inch circular saw. Circular saw, some sort of a straight edge to mark a line, 1 clamp, a decent table. I did a video on this table back on my channel. This thing is rock solid for the price. I'll put a link down below. So you're gonna need a table, a pencil, tape measure, and you don't need this, but this makes it a lot easier. This is a table saw, job site table saw. I just set it at 4 inches. That's where all my cuts are, at 4 inches. And then here's my cutoffs. This is basically my waist right here, these little pieces by the time I'm done. So I designed the house to be able to accommodate shelves that are a certain size, so I don't have to go crazy on material. So that's really all you're gonna need. And then I like to put a little stile on the end of the board, depending on what material you use. I'm using my Makita router with a little round over bit. I think that's a 1/2 inch round over bit, and it produces this is a drawer face I'm doing, but it produces an edge like this. So you can set the depth of the router bit however you want. I created a little reveal here and then do this, and then this gets sanded. And you can paint them or leave them bare like I have here. So it's like the chickens are laying some eggs today. Lay an egg, Bethany? All right, so now's the perfect time to show you the closet that I'm working on. Here's a bifold door setup, and I'm holding this up in my hand to give you an idea of how this is built, because I like to make videos that can kind of help people quickly. So if you need to move on, you leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, and move on. But you're basically creating this with those cutoffs. So you're creating a side piece, you're creating a back piece, and I screwed every single area into a stud. That's right, Ava. And then there's the shelf that sits on top of it like that. So it sits nice and straight. Now this span is 7 feet, so this probably, unfortunately, will need 2 metal supports, or at least 1. I was hoping to not have to do a support, but there's a little bit of flex in the shelf, so I'm gonna put 1 in the center. I'm taking a video on this closet, baby, and I'm gonna go ahead and support it. So I'm adding 2 more shelves to the top, and we should be good to go. So I'll show some footage of that. Dada is, baby.
What is it?
All right, I got my favorite helper here too. Okay, if you've stuck with me this far, I appreciate it. Here's 3 of them in. I wanted to show what they look like. I still got 1 more to do, but I went with these brackets. They're $6 a piece at Lowe's, and they don't have a cross angle here, so I'm allowed to use the whole area. I didn't want to have to use bracketry, but it is just the nature of, unfortunately, them being almost 8 feet, 7 foot long. So they look pretty cool in here. The birch plywood definitely is nice. They're nice and smooth. And the radiused front really is nice, where you get a nice good slide in and slide out. Just more of a natural look, kind of a, nice contrast inside of the closet. You know, it's just a storage closet, but it does match the wood floor nicely, and it just kind of, I don't know, I just think it looks cool. You could definitely do infinity shelves if you use steel for supports, but not on the budget that you're probably trying to stay on. So I'm gonna keep going and put the last shelf in, and just to give you a little how-to, I made sure that each one of my supports were cut at 14 inches, so they're all uniform. That still allows me to put a piece of trim around the back if I decide to trim this closet out, but most of the time the doors will be shut. Each one of the risers here for the support brackets are 14 inches. Remember, you want to keep the bracket on the same plane, so I had to add wood here to make it look good. All still using the same sheet of, same 2 sheets of plywood, which is nice. And I used some little, to go into the bottom so they don't poke through the top, some of these Spax 3/4 inch screws to go through the 3/4 ply, and it's got a little bit of a head on it so it doesn't poke all the way through. So every single part of this shelving system is in the studs, so there's no need to use drywall anchors, which I thought I might have to, but I was able to find the studs on this wall. So these things are not going anywhere. I'm not going to do it because I don't trust them that much, but I could probably sit on them or lay on them and they'd be fine. Maybe one extra bracket, you could probably lay on them. So, yep, let me finish the last one. Okay, here's the final reveal of the shelves. If you've made it this far, appreciate you liking and subscribing. Here we go. There's the shelves, all set and ready to go. Extremely sturdy, strong. And hopefully will provide me with enough storage in this office to keep my printers and miscellaneous office supplies secure and not falling down. Plus, if kids ever decide that they want to use these as a ladder, they're not going anywhere. I got screws and everything, everything's in studs. So God forbid, if that ever happens, I catch them in here, I can rest assured that I know that the shelf's not gonna fall down. So, yeah, so I wanna go over the price of everything. I just did some quick math here. You can see it here, $180 for plywood, $48, call it 50 bucks for brackets, $20 for screws. Total is $250 for 4 7-foot long shelves made out of birch plywood at 3/4 inch thick. And quite honestly, if you ever messed around with that cheap shelving material, you can appreciate the strength and stability of plywood. And birch ply, with it being $89 a sheet, is not the cheapest thing in the world, but the way I look at it is, if these shelves are going to be in here for a long, long time, might as well have them made out of a good material that doesn't stink and nice and smooth to the touch, light sanding. You know, these could be kept nice for a very long time. I just think it looks better than that rough sawn plywood. So anyways, if this video helped you guys get some ideas on shelf building, please let me know in the comments below, or if you would do it any differently, let me know. And I appreciate you watching, and thanks for subscribing. Later.